and welcome to Gaurav's Arena. This is Gaurav Chodnekar and this tutorial is the second part of the second tutorial which is about the basic components in Visual Basic. So now let us start with the tutorial. So earlier in the first part of the same tutorial about learning the basic components in Visual Basic, we have learned about buttons, text box and labels. So now let us see the another three components which will be included in this part 2. So I will start my existing tutorial 2 solution file which was created while in the first part of the tutorial 2. In order to see how to create a new project and you can refer my previous videos about creating new project, but now let us directly start with the tutorial. So now the three components which will be introduced to you in this tutorial will be the number 1 will be a checkbox, then for number 2 it will be the radio button, okay, then for number 3 let us see what we have got here. We will take a combo box and again we will have a number 4, that is where it went, oh yeah it is, that is a list box. So basically these are all the 4 components that we will be seeing in this tutorial. So now let us start them one by one. So as we can see, this one is the checkbox, radio button, combo box and list box. Let us first execute them and see how they actually look at the runtime. So we have the 4 components placed on our form. The build has started and now let us have a glance at it. So basically radio button and the checkbox are two of the same kind, but even though they have a very big difference between them. In checkbox you can select multiple options, but whereas in radio button you can't select multiple options. You have to select only one. I will demonstrate you the difference in the upcoming part, but let us have a glance at how these components look. Now the build has been successful and we are just waiting for it to load. So our form has been loaded and as you can see that here is the checkbox 1 where you have 2 options of checking or unchecking. In checkbox 1 you can select multiple options and in radio button you can select only one options. Apart from that we have got here a combo box. In combo box you can see multiple items as a drop down list and then you can select any one from them. Whereas in the list box you can see all of the available items at once or by scrolling, but then also you can select only one of the item. Now let us see some basic differences or similarities between them. Okay, we will see both of them. First of all we will see the difference between them, then we will go for similarity. So now let us add some components once more. I will just copy paste this and copy paste this and copy paste this. Okay, now let us run this form once more. Okay, basically by run I mean to execute it or debug it. So here it is. Now you can see I can check both the checkboxes. I can check only checkbox 2, I can check none, I can check only checkbox 1. I have no issues for that. But this is not the case with the radio buttons. I have checked on the radio button 1. As soon as I click on radio button 2, the check for the radio button 1 has vanished. Now let us click on radio button 1 and that's it, the check on the radio button 2 has vanished. It means that you can select only one of the option. Let us take an example for it might say to select your gender as male or female, where you are required to select only one of the option. You might prefer the radio button, but whereas if you are required to put some qualifications such as if you are a graduate, undergraduate, postgraduate, then you can choose the various options that are available. So similarly in a combo box also it is some of a kind like a radio button working, That is, you can select only one from the multiple options that are available. For example, it can say to select your university, and all the university names can be listed in the combo box, and similar in the list box, but although they have a different graphical representation, so they are shown here. So basically, if we are going to categorize them, we can categorize the checkbox into one, and the radio button, combo box, and the list box into the another category. As the checkbox is the one which is capable of allowing the user to select multiple options, whereas the radio button, combo box, and the list box don't allow the user to select multiple options. So now let us move ahead with the code. Now these are the basic differences and similarities. Now let us go to the properties for checkbox 1. So I will just click down it to alphabetical. So basically, as shown in the part 1, all the properties are same, only a bit of the differences do exist. So in the further tutorials, I will just try to cover up with the differences that exist in the tutorial. Also, in the part 1, I have made a different parts, saying the button in the starting, then the text box and labels, and in the other sequence I might be. But in this part 2 of the tutorial, I will be directly doing it as all of them are similar to each other. So basically, you might be familiar with the name function, then auto size, back color, background image, and other things. So basically speaking, as of the part 2 of the tutorials and the components including in it, we have got a check state. So if I change the check state to check, then it by default becomes a check. So as soon as your form loads, it is the default that a tick mark, that is, it will be checked as soon as your form loads. But if you change it to unchecked, then by default it won't be checked. Then apart from that, you have got cursors, dog, flat appearance, and other things. So all that we would be concerned with the check, and the rest other things are a bit similar to those shown in the previous one. So in the radio button 2, we have got the same things. So here also we have got the checked equal to true or checked equal to false, and nothing other than that do exist in here. But for the combo box, the main one is the items. So in the items, just click here on the collection and click on this button, that is the 3 dots shown. And now we will be typing welcome to Gaurav's arena. Okay, now I will click on OK. And similar for the list box, the process is bit same. And now depending on this process, if we need to categorize the components, then the checkbox and radio button will be categorized into the first category, whereas the list box and the combo box will be categorized into the second category. Now let us repeat the same process here. Okay, welcome to Gaurav's arena. Okay, now let us try running it once more so that we can immediately spot the differences. So here is the executed app. So as soon as I clicked on combo box, it shows me first line welcome, then tour, then Gaurav's, then arena. Now I can select any one of them. Now if I choose the Gaurav's, then the selected item will be shown here. And similarly in the list box also I can choose any one of them. So here I have chosen arena. So basically you can select any one, but as said earlier, you can select only one from the drop down list that will be visible only at the time of selection and will then disappear, whereas in the list box it will stay there even after selection. So this is the possible difference between both of them. Okay, now let us try to handle the checkbox and radio button. So I will click on checkbox 1. So as soon as I clicked on checkbox 1, a method that appeared which names checkbox1.check changed. Basically, in this method, both the functionalities of a checkbox are handled, which are that is the checked and unchecked. Both these functionalities are handled here. So to determine whether it is checked or unchecked, we would have to code for it. There is no by default function available for the same. So now let us try to do a code such that if checkbox1.checked equal to true, that is if the checkbox1.checked equal to true, then we will be giving a message box which will say that you clicked on checkbox 1. Okay, you clicked on checkbox 1. Now that's it. Okay, I will just change it to you checked the checkbox 1. Now again I would try to code it in the false state, that is the if checkbox 1.checked equal to false, then message box should display you unchecked the checkbox 1. Now let us try and execute it. Okay, before that we will do the same for radio button 1. If radio button 1 dot checked equal to true, then a message box will be shown which will say that for the message which will say that you checked the radio button 1. Now let us do this for radio button 2. If radio button 2 dot checked equal to true, then again the similar message box, that is you check the radio button 2. Now let us go for combo box. Now let us see what this combo box says. So now the combo box says that selected index change. So as soon as the selected index is changed, what should happen? Now what is the selected index? So now we have seen that we have given 4 lines there. The first one is welcome, then 2, then Gaurav's, and then arena. Okay, so this is welcome, which will be having a value of 0 index value, then 2 will be having an index value of 1, then the Gaurav's will be having an index value of 2, and arena will be having an index value of 4. Basically all the elements will be having an index value of n minus 1. So now as soon as this index value is changed, that is index value will be changed when you change the selection. So what should happen with that? So now let us go for that message box. Now we will be giving you choose. So you have chosen plus combo box 1 dot text dot to string. Okay, so now I hope this works on the combo box. So before moving on to the list box, let us try something. So now first of all we will check the checkbox 1. Now I'm clicking on the checkbox 1 and here it is. It gave an message box saying you checked the checkbox 1. Now let us try unchecking it, and it gave you unchecked the checkbox 1. Okay, that means both the conditions as mentioned here are working. That is, we are able to determine whether the checkbox is checked or not. Now let us go ahead and check it for these 2 conditions of the radio button. Now I'm clicking on radio button 1 and it says you checked the radio button 1. Now let us see whether it shows me for the radio button 2, and it says the radio button 2 has been checked and the radio button 1's check has been banished. Now we have coded here for the combo box. Now it shows you have chosen plus whatever we have chosen. Now let us see whether we get that or not. Now we will be choosing Gaurav's. Okay, there it is. It says you have chosen Gaurav's. Now let us see if it goes for arena. Okay, then it says you have chosen arena. Okay, that's quite good. It's not at all bad that I can get whatever I have chosen. So in the similar way, if you want to store this in variables, you can store it. Basically, you don't need to store the check status of a checkbox or radio button. So basically, you can perform actions in this part where the message box is being shown. This message box can be replaced with your desired actions. But in the combo box 1, if you want to pass the selected variable to perform some another action, then you can use this. That is the combo box 1.text.toString. That is the text which is selected can be stored off into a string variable. Now the same way would do for a list box. So I will just copy paste this into the bottom part. So basically, being an engineer, you must do this, the copy pasting work. Okay, it is a bit not responding. I don't know what happened, but let us see as soon as it responds back. Okay, so here it is, the message box you have chosen, combo box 1.text. So I don't need a combo box now. I need a list box 1. So that's it. Now let us execute it for the list box 1. The above 3 are still working as the code is present there, but I just want to see for the list box. So here it is, it's working. As I'm clicking on it, it is giving me a message box alert for whatever I have chosen. So the code logic for the combo box and the list box is similar, whereas for the others is different. In other words, you can say that the variables chosen in combo box and these are can be passed directly to a variable, whereas in radio button or checkbox you can't do that. For that you need to see whether this checkbox is checked and then assign a value to the variable and other such things. So now let us do something. Now we have been given these two static as a static elements. Now let us see if we can add them dynamically. Okay, so now I guess I would delete this code from here so that we can recode it to be a bit better in execution. Okay, I have deleted the code and now I am back here. I have deleted all components. Now let us take our where it went, text box. So I have placed the text box here. So in the tutorial 1 we have seen the text box, then the label and a button. So now let us start with label. I have put the label here and then I am taking a button which I will be placing here. So I will replace the text term is equal to entire string and then add string. Then I will be placing two components at the bottom, which are the drop down box, that is the combo box, and the list box. Now I will be coding on the add string. Now to be on the simpler part, first I will declare a variable dim txt add string is equal to textbox1.text. Okay. Then now we will be doing combo box 1 items dot add in bracket double inverted quotes. Okay, I don't need double inverted quotes, I will be directly giving txt, and then list box 1 dot items dot add in bracket txt. So basically what will happen is the text entered into the text box 1 will be transferred to the variable txt, and then this txt will be added to combo box and list box. Now let us execute this to find out whether this works or not. So I will be typing Gaurav, now add string. Okay, you can immediately see the output in the list box. Now let us click on the combo box, and here we can find it has been added up there. Now let us try welcome to Gaurav's arena. The string will actually overflow, but it's okay. So here you can see, you can choose welcome to Gaurav's arena. Here also you can choose. Now let us try something else. Mumbai. Okay, the Mumbai is added there. You can try for New York. Add string. Here you can see New York has been added. Then you can add any kind of string. Basically you can add any kind of data. Now let us try for numerical data. The numericals too are added, as we have converted it to string. All the data is treated as basically a string, but apart from that we have stored it as a string in txt, and then this is again passed on there. So in this way you can add, remove and delete. In the same way you can remove the data in the list box and combo box. For that you will be using the combo box 1 dot items dot remove or remove add. In remove you have to pass a value of an object, or remove add you have to pass the index value of the object. So using these functions you can do that. So basically you would be requiring combo box 1 dot items dot add, then dot count to show the number of items in it, then the item, then remove add, and to string. These are the basic functions which would be using in combo box 1, and a similar of them are available in list box 1 too. So using these you can do all types of customizations further, apart from the properties that are shown in the part 1, such as the back color, forecolor, background, font size, text style, etc. So you can do all of these such things. You can do this for checkbox and radio buttons too, but it can be a lot of headache. As a beginner you can try for this course. It would be quite better for you. I personally prefer to use a combo box instead of a list box wherever possible. In older versions of VB, that is the VB6 and all, they used to have a dir box, list box, dir list box, directory box and all, which are basically a part of list box. If you have been familiar with the older versions of VB, you might be used to it. In the newer versions they have removed all those kinds of things and they have been replaced by dialog boxes. So I guess that's it for the tutorial 2, and now let us see in the part 3 the remaining basic components of the Visual Basic, and the part 3 will be the concluding part for the tutorial 2, and then we will be moving on to the advanced components of VB. So thank you, that's it for now in tutorial 2 part 2. So stay subscribed to my channel, and till then try this on your own.